done looking for the critics, cause they're everywhere. They don't like my jeans, they don't get my hair. Exchange ourselves and we do it all the time. Why do we do that? Why do I do that?
Honestly, probably 8.
I would say 7.
A 5 or a 6, I guess.
I think I'm like a 3.
I think I would be like a 3.
Like a 5.
6, 7, I would say.
I think maybe like a 3.
I would say maybe like 7.
I think I am a 3.
Probably an 8.
4.
I used to be like 6, 7, but like now I'm like 8, 9.
In my professional opinion, I really believe that negative body image comes from society's constructs of what makes someone beautiful. And for us, in this culture, it's mostly the media. Magazines, television, kind of this hyper-focus on perfection, anti-cellulite products, muscle toning products, low-fat this, diets. I think it's mostly the media.
I think the two primary sources are family role modeling and influence and media.
I think that certainly one of the biggest culprits I see right now is the media. That if you think about the images that we're inundated with on a daily basis of these unattainable images of beauty, they're airbrushed, they're photoshopped, what we see on TV is not the reflection of ourselves back. We see this very narrow view of beauty, which is typically white, very, very thin, a tiny bit muscular, large breasts for women, and then for men it's the hairless, very muscular, six-pack abs. So I think that the media has a lot to do with it in driving those messages.
Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. Well, that's alright because
Being bombarded with images of women all the time and expectations of like femininity from the media or from just like standards.
I think that there's a different perception of what different women should look like. So what should a mixed girl look like? What should a girl who's under 5 feet look like? Has definitely allowed me to see myself in a certain way, and that is probably in a negative way.
I believe that the media helps place this perception where everyone needs to have this perfect body in order to feel pretty or to feel good about themselves.
A lot of girls get subscriptions to different magazines. I get Cosmo and a few others, and so I always look through those, and everybody in there is perfectly shaped or way too skinny.
It's hard not to fall under those influences that just surround you.
I think that it represents an ideal body, not necessarily a healthy body. And the reason for that being, just because, you're really muscular, you're really skinny, doesn't mean you're healthy, but we all want to be that because that's what we think is good looking.
If you look at magazines, TV shows, and other public displays of celebrities, there's mostly you have to be fit and good looking. And in addition, you can also check on TV. There's always the dieting and different ways to lose weight.
Not everyone is that skinny or that muscular, and it kind of puts social pressure on people to try to achieve that, and that could be through anorexia, bulimia, all those types of diseases.
The contradictions are clear. So okay, we're supposed to be super skinny and have the biggest breasts ever. Those two things don't coexist in nature.
People are being applauded and rewarded for showing healthy body types of women who are fuller figured or who are not as tall, and that those are healthy body types, but people are being awarded for those things, and they're not just being part of what women should look like in the way that the media portrays women.
There's no middle ground, and the definition of healthy is really ambiguous.
I think so. I think that there is a different ideal for women than there is for men. I think men might be dissatisfied with their bodies, but their identity is formed with such different different traits or characteristics, like their success or their position at work. And while women, I think, often can define themselves that way, there's this overarching definition for women about how they present themselves and how they look, how they're aging, that is more of a self-definition than maybe other characteristics.
The way that women's bodies are used in marketing products. So like you have a naked woman lying over a car and you're like, are they advertising the car? Are they advertising the burger she's holding in her hand? I have no idea. So again, sometimes it's even hard to tell what the product is because all we see is the body. But I do think that men, unfortunately, are being pulled into that now, where a lot of the media images are involving male bodies, or even the prevalence of men's health magazines. Like, you know, you can look at the cover of that, it's the exact same unattainable image that women have been seeing for years and years.
I feel like all my answers for that are so cliche, you know, be happy or just love yourself, but I think that's so hard to do.
People validating how I look is how I've gained a lot of self-confidence, and that's probably not the best way and not a way that I can control at all, and so not a great way for someone else to do it. And so trying to think of ways that people can do it themselves is so hard.
Having women of all different types talk about their experience having that body and how they are proud to have that body. In particular, what comes to mind is those Dove commercials they have for like women of different shapes and different sizes, and I think that's really empowering.
I think understanding what affects your body image and the realities of those things, and starting to break down the structures that have really been put in place for women and the expectations that are there, at least helps you understand where your sort of pathologies about yourself come from. And once you start to understand that, you can build a better, healthier image of yourself.
People can improve their own perceptions by looking at what they purchase and what they consume. Next time you're in a grocery store line, pick up this month's Cosmopolitan. Look at the cover. Read what the topics are on the cover. I guarantee you, most of the topics will be about how you can be skinnier, sexier, and please other people. By the time you get done reading that magazine, you'll probably feel inadequate, fat, and not worthy. So I think, you know, we have to look at, in terms of, as consumers, what do we buy? What messages are we paying for? What messages are we spending time absorbing and reading and looking at?
If people can realize that their bodies are for more than just kind of the viewing pleasure of others, it can give you a better sense of what your body is meant to do. I really think that bodies are amazing. It's an amazing invention, really. I mean, bodies run, bodies carry, bodies dance, they move. They take us through our lives, and if we only think about our bodies as a way to kind of gratify someone else's kind of their pleasure, or if it's only kind of an external representation of ourselves, we're kind of losing, 98% of what our bodies are meant to do.
Play in your body. Don't exercise because it's punishment. Exercise because it feels good. Eat healthy foods that help you do what you want to do. And surround yourself with people who support that.
Perfection is not achievable for most people. But if you can do something active and you can enjoy it, I mean, you can feel that your body's working for you in a way that is maybe a little bit less objectified than just kind of being looked at.
Speak out, share your voice, be heard.
No matter what we do, no matter